前所有的相遇，都是久别重逢。
Yeah. Welcome, family, to Omniversity Conscious Temple of Omniversal Wisdom. I'm gonna name this one here 144,000 War Preparation, Part 1. It's a series of spiritual teachings that will help you advance in your spiritual journey. This will be the key to unlock the powers of your soul and shed the egoic mask. This will give you an even playing field within the spiritual battle that we face. 144,000, stand up. I am he who have returned. Monakai. Prophecy speaks. Right? So in the previous video, we learned about the primordial mind, the law of mentalism, and how all things comes from the primordial mind. All things stems from the primordial mind. We also learned that spirit came into existence by way of primordial sound, which is the first expression of the primordial mind. We learned that the word spirit is interchangeable between ion and the word vibration. In its totality, they are one and the same. We learned that the word expression means to express ions. Okay? So to express, which means to bring out or to make visible. Ions is the electrically charged atom, negatively or positively. Okay, so what is it saying? It's literally saying to make visible the light, the electric charge, to make it visible from, from the unseen to the seen, from the unconscious to conscious, from pre-creation to creation. It's ongoing. This process from the beginning is ongoing and it's happening inside of you. This is the alchemical transformation. You understand? So you want to express, you want to bring out your hidden nature, the nature that's deep within yourself, deep within your core being, and you want to express that, you want to make that visible to the outside world, bringing out your true self, your authentic self. So let's move on and get deep into this Ogdoad, okay? So who are the Ogdoad? So we about to get deep today. What is the Ogdoad? The Ogdoad refers to a group of 8 primordial deities or principles that play a foundational role in ancient Egyptian cosmology and spiritual philosophy. It represents the chaotic pre-creation state of the universe and the forces that transition chaos into order. Here's an overview of its meaning and significance. The Ogdoad in Egyptian cosmology. The Ogdoad consists of 4 male-female pairs, each embodying a cosmic principle. Nun and Nunat, representing primordial waters. Heh and Hachet, symbolizing infinity or boundlessness. Kuk and Kuket, personifying darkness. Amun and Amunet, embodying hiddenness or invisibility. Okay? Role in creation. These deities represent the chaotic, formless state before creation. Together, they symbolize the potential for life and order within the primordial void. Their union is often depicted as creating a cosmic egg or lotus from which the first light or creator god Ra emerges. Right? So understand that these eight primordial deities, known as the Ogdoad, these are literally the pre-creation state of the universe. This is the pre-creation state, literally forces. You know that transition chaos into order. Representing primordial waters, infinite boundlessness, and darkness, and hiddenness and visibility. Okay, so these are the forces that existed before creation, before primary creation. Okay, so now let's move on and get deeper into this. The Odo in ancient Egyptian mythology was not created in the conventional sense, but rather existed as the primordial forces of chaos and potentiality before creation itself. These eight deities, four male female pairs, symbolize fundamental elements of the universe: water, Nun and Nunat, infinity, Ha and Hahat, darkness, Kuk and Kakat, and hiddenness, Amun and Amunat. Origins of the Old Dode, primordial existence. The Old Dode represented the chaotic, formless state of the universe before creation. They were considered eternal and self-existent, embodying the qualities necessary for life to emerge. You understand that? So they are eternal and self-existent. Like Sambu. Sambu means self-existing. I am Sambu, the Black Buddha. You understand? That's where they get that from. The Sambu, self-existing, eternal. So keep the word eternal in mind, because we're going to come back to that, and we're going to find out what the eternal forces really are. Moving on to 2, role in creation. Through that interaction, the Old Dog generated a burst of energy, leading to the formation of the primeval mound at Hermopolis. This mound became the site where creation began, culminating in the birth of Ra from a cosmic egg or lotus flower. Okay? Okay, so understand that. So now we see the first interaction happening. You understand? We're going to break that word down later as well. The old dog generated a burst of energy, leading to the formation of the primeval mound at Hermopolis. So this is the first interaction, taking place, leading up to the creation of the first mound or structure. You understand? So let's move on to 3. Symbolism. The old dog's frog-headed male and snake-headed female symbolize fertility, transformation, and hidden wisdom. Their union represents balance and merging of opposites to spark creation. You see? So let's move on. Now we're going to take a look at eternal forces. Okay, we're going to understand what eternal forces are. Eternal forces in the context of the old dog, it represents the primordial self-existent energies or principles that predate creation and form the foundation of existence. These forces are neither created nor destroyed, but are inherent aspects of the cosmos that continually influence its balance and transformation. Here's how this concept is explained in relation to the Odo. Eternal forces in the Odo. The Odo consists of 4 male and female pairs of deities symbolizing primordial elements. Okay, so the eternal forces in the old dog symbolizes primordial elements. Okay, and elements are chemicals, gases. We know what elements are. Okay, so let's continue. These deities were considered eternal because they existed before creation, embodying the raw potential for life and order. You understand? Eternal forces as catalysts for creation. The interplay of these eternal forces led to the emergence of the primeval mound, a metaphor for stability and structure rising from chaos. This mound became the birthplace of Ra, the sun god, or other creator deities in Egyptian cosmology. These forces were not static. Their dynamic interaction symbolizes the ongoing process of creation, destruction, and renewal. Okay? Understand that. Now let's move on. 3. Eternal forces in metaphysical terms. Chaos is a precursor to order. In metaphysical terms, eternal forces represent the chaotic potential that must be resolved into order. You understand that? It's the chaotic potential that must be resolved into order. This mirrors spiritual growth, where unresolved energies, such as psychological complexes, are transformed into clarity and enlightenment. You understand? Duality and balance. The male female pairs emphasizes duality, light, darkness, visible, hidden, as necessary components of balance. Their eternal nature reflects universal laws like cyclical renewal and transformation. 4. Psychological interpretation. Eternal forces can be seen as archetypes within the psyche, unconscious energies that influence thought, emotion, and behavior. For example, Kaket, darkness, represents unconscious fears or shadow aspects that must be integrated. Amun, Amenet, hiddenness, symbolizes latent potential or truths waiting to be uncovered. Through awareness, intelligence, these chaotic forces can be harmonized, leading to personal growth. You understand? So these forces, they represent the potential, chaotic potential within your own unconscious mind that must be resolved into order, into harmony, balance. It's the same thing happening over and over again. Right? The transmutation of the darkness into light, the chaos into order. And this is happening within you. This is the alchemical transformation, right? So let's continue. Overstand. So the eternal forces in the Ogdoad symbolize timeless principles that underpin existence. They embody chaos, potentiality, and transformation, essential precursors to creation. Whether interpreted cosmologically, metaphysically, or psychologically, these forces highlight the interplay between chaos and order as a fundamental aspect of life and consciousness. So chaos and order is a fundamental aspect of life and consciousness, because you're constantly turning your own inner chaos into order. You're constantly changing, growing, and evolving into new forms of being. You understand? Into new beings. So that's the process. That's just like the people from your past you might know from 5 years ago. They some of them probably still the same, but you're a new person from 5 to 10 years ago. You're not the same being. You're now a new being, so you can't relate to them that older version of your outdated self. That they previously knew. You're a new being, and this is what we're always doing, changing. Now let's move on. Now let's go deep within thyself. Let's go deep into this, right? Now, within chaos, right? In order for order to come, there has to be a problem, right? This is where you get the problem, reaction, solution. We all heard of this, right? Now, what is a problem? A problem is generally defined as a situation, question, or matter that causes difficulty, stress, or doubt, requiring a solution or consideration. Okay? So, solution or consideration. Okay? It can also refer to a mathematical question or proposition that needs to be solved through logical thought or operations. In broader context, problems are often described as obstacles or challenges that hinder progress or cause trouble, necessitating resolution or management. The term originates from the Greek word problema, meaning something put forward, which emphasizes the idea of presenting an issue for discussion or solution. You understand? Salute ion. Do you get it? Now let's break this down. Let's go deep into thyself. Let's get it. So a problem is generally defined as a situation. So we're going to start there. What is a situation? Okay, a situation refers to the set of circumstances or conditions. Okay, a set of circumstances or conditions at a particular time or place. It can be described a physical location, a state of affairs, or the context surrounding an event or issue. The term situation comes from the Latin word situatio, derived from situia, meaning to place or to position. I'm sorry, I might have butchered them words, but let's continue. It is related to situs, which means site or position. Over time, it evolved to refer to the circumstances or conditions in which something is placed. You understand that? So, what do we get out the word situation? It means to situate ions. The word situate originates from the Latin verb situare, which means to place, position, or set. It derives from situs, meaning site or position, which itself comes from the Proto-Indo-European root to key or kai, to lie, settle, or dwell. Over time, the term evolved in English to mean to place in a particular location or context, reflecting its etymological roots in placement and positioning. Okay, so let's move on. We got to learn to understand these words to break the spell of English. So let's move on. Metaphysical and occult concepts often align with the idea that situations represent energetic or symbolic configurations, such as situating ions, metaphorically. In this context, energetic alignment, metaphysical traditions view situations as manifestations of energy patterns or vibrational states. The term ions could symbolize charged particles, representing dynamic forces that influence outcomes or environments. Occult symbolism. Occult practices often interpret situations as the interplay of cosmic forces, where situating ions metaphorically reflects the balancing or positioning of energies to create specific effects or transformations. 3. Consciousness and resonance. The Institute of Noetic Science explores consciousness as an interconnected and non-local, suggesting that situations might emerge from deeper energetic or conscious alignments, akin to metaphysical situating ions within universal consciousness. These perspectives integrate metaphysical principles with symbolic interpretations, emphasizing interconnectedness and vibrational dynamics. Right? So do y'all get it? Right? This is what the ancestors are saying. Sit, you 8 ions. You know the ancestors is happy right now. They're happy because a Naga finally get it. So now I gotta break it down and bring it and present it to y'all. You understand? So let's move on. So now we see the Ogdoad as the original situators. You know, they were the first situators, primordial situators. The Ogdoad aligns with the concept of original situators as they represent the primordial forces that established the foundational conditions for creation. In Egyptian mythology, the Ogdoad consists of 8 deities, 4 male, female pairs, symbolizing chaos, pre-creation elements like water, darkness, infinity, and hiddenness. Key metaphysical alignments, primordial forces. The Ogdoad embodies the chaotic and formless state before creation, situating the universe's foundational energies. Their interaction led to the emergence of order and life, making them metaphysically situators of existence. You understand? So they are the situators of existence. Let's continue. These deities represent duality, light, darkness, water, infinity, emphasizing a metaphysical balance necessary for creation. Their interplay mirrors the alignment of cosmic forces to situate reality. Manifestation of order. From their chaotic state arose Ra and other entities, symbolizing order and light. This transformation reflects metaphysical principles, where chaos transitions into structured existence through divine situating forces. Thus, the Ogdoad metaphysically situates the universe by embodying and harmonizing primordial forces essential for creation. Right? So once again, this is the alchemical process that happened in the beginning. It's the same process that we're going through now. The alchemical process, order out of chaos, from pre-creation to primary creation, from unconscious to conscious. And how do you do that? By situating within yourself and harmonizing the primordial forces within yourself. Right? Overstand that. Now let's move on. Now let's break this down. The problem, the primary problem, the primordial problem that arises, right, is that these primordial elements are in a chaotic condition, an unconscious state, right? And it needs to be brought into consciousness. It needs to be transformed into consciousness. So how do you transform? Well, basically, how do you solve the problem? So now mathematics come into play, problem solving, right? So this is primordial problem solving. This is the basics and foundations of mathematics. This is supreme mathematics. So now you want to situate the primordial elements of chaos, okay? You want to bring that unconscious state into consciousness. So you do that with problem solving. You feel me? Problem solving and salute in mathematics. Problem solving in mathematics involves using logical reasoning, mathematical operations, and principles to find solutions to questions or challenges. Okay? And questions just literally means to quest ions, like you're questing electrical charge. Okay? Now let's keep going. It can include tasks like solving equations, proofs, or real world problems. Mathematical problem solving often requires abstract thinking, representation, equations or graphs, and systematic approaches such as algebraic manipulation or geometric analysis. Okay, understand that. Salute in mathematics. While salute is primarily a chemistry term, okay, so it's bringing us back to chem. Chemistry comes from chem. It is a chemistry term referring to a substance dissolved in a solvent to form a solution. It can metaphorically relate to mathematics, conceptual dissolution. In problem solving, breaking down complex problems into simpler components mirrors the process of dissolving a solute into a solvent. Integration. Just as solutes integrate into solvents to form homogeneous solutions, mathematical principles combine to create coherent solutions to problems. Metaphorical connection. You follow? So metaphorical connection. Mathematical problem solving and the concept of solutes both involve transforming and integrating elements to achieve clarity or resolution, whether in abstract reasoning or physical mixtures, okay? So overstand that. Overstand that. I came here to give y'all the true occult knowledge. Not the hogwash a lot of people been teaching out here, man. I'm here to give y'all the truth. You follow? Now let's continue. The birth of mathematics. The birth of mathematics can be metaphysically tied to the Egyptian Ogdoad, as they represent the primordial forces that structured chaos into order, a process analogous to mathematical reasoning. Ancient Egyptians viewed numbers as sacred, linking them to divine creation and cosmic balance. This connection aligns with the Ogdoad's role in situating and solving chaos, forming the foundation for structured existence. Okay? So this connection aligns with the Ogdoad's role in situating, situate ions and solving chaos, forming the foundation for structured existence. So situating and solving solution, you understand, is the foundation for structured existence. So let's continue. Correlation between the Ogdoad and mathematics. Primordial structuring. The Ogdoad embodies duality, infinity, darkness, hiddenness, which are foundational concepts in mathematics, such as opposites and limits. Their interplay mirrors mathematical principles of balancing equations or defining systems. Sacred numbers. Egyptian sacred numbers, particularly their base 10 system, were metaphysically tied to creation myths. Thoth, the god of wisdom and mathematics, was believed to extract discrete numbers from Noon's infinite waters, just as the Ogdoad situated chaos into structured forms. Numerical infinity. Hat and Hawhat personify infinity within the Ogdoad, symbolizing boundlessness, a concept central to mathematics. Their representation of millions in hieroglyphs reflects early notions of large quantities and eternity. Some deep shit, y'all. Let's go. Geometry and creation. The Egyptians conceived the cosmos as a geometric system rooted in sacred proportions. This reflects how the Ogdoad established order through structured relationships, paralleling mathematical frameworks used for measuring and designing. Thus, the Ogdoad's metaphysical actions, situating chaos and solving cosmic imbalance, symbolize the origins of mathematical thought, where abstract principles emerge from undefined states to create order and overstanding. You follow? Do y'all understand that? This is supreme mathematics, primordial mathematics. Now let's continue. Now we move to solute. A solute is a substance that is dissolved in another substance, known as the solvent, to form a solution. It can exist in various forms, solid, liquid, or gas, and is typically the component present in a smaller amount compared to the solvent. For example, in a saltwater solution, salt is the solute and water is the solvent. The solute particles are uniformly distributed within the solvent, creating a homogeneous mixture. The solubility of a solute depends on factors like temperature, pressure, and the nature of the solvent. You understand? Let's move on. The word solute originates from the Latin solutus, the past participle of solvere, meaning to loosen, dissolve, or untie. Its etymology traces back to Proto-Indo-European root, see lu or lu, which means to loosen, divide, or cut apart. Okay, so now we have division, divide, mathematics. In chemistry, the term came to mean a substance dissolved in a liquid by the late 19th century, reflecting its linguistic roots in dissolution and transformation. Earlier uses of solute included meanings like free or not adhering, particularly in botany and soil descriptions. Right? So let's continue. Let's move on. So yes, metaphysically speaking, the Ogdoad can also be considered the first solute in the grand cosmic equation of creation. This interpretation aligns with their role as primordial forces that dissolve chaos and infuse the universe with order, stability, and the conditions necessary for existence. The Ogdoad as the first solute, dissolution of chaos. In metaphysical terms, the Ogdoad represents the initial forces that dissolve or transform the chaotic, unstructured void into something meaningful and ordered. Just as a solute dissolves into a solvent to create a solution, the Ogdoad integrates their primordial energies into the cosmic waters, none to catalyze creation. You understand? Primordial waters is solvent. The waters of Noon are often described as infinite and formless. The solvent within which the Ogdoad operates by interacting with these waters, they situate themselves as solutes, initiating transformation and producing the primeval mound, the first structure in creation. Emergence of light. The Ogdoad's dissolution leads to the emergence of Ra, the sun god, symbolizing light and life. This process mirrors how a solute changes the properties of a solvent to create something new, a metaphorical solution to cosmic chaos. Right? Creation is alchemical process. In alchemical and occult traditions, creation is often described as a transformative process involving dissolution and recombination. The Ogdoad embodies this principle by dissolving their chaotic essence into harmony, solving the problem of formlessness and birthing structured existence. Symbolic insight. The idea of the Ogdoad as both first solvers and first solutes beautifully illustrates their dual role in resolving chaos while simultaneously transforming it into something new. This interpretation bridges metaphysical concepts with symbolic chemistry,
emphasizing their foundational importance in creation myths and cosmic order. We cooking, man. Let's go. Let's move on. The Ogdoad can be considered the first solvers in metaphysical and mythological terms because they represent the primordial forces that resolve the chaos of pre-creation, bringing order and initiating the process of creation. Their actions metaphorically solve the problem of formlessness and bring forth structured existence. How the Ogdoad act as solvers? Resolution of chaos. It's number one. The Ogdoad embodies elements like primordial waters, infinity, darkness, and hiddenness. These forces interact to resolve the chaotic void, leading to the emergence of Ra, the sun god and light. Creation mechanism. Their interplay is described as a cosmic explosion, akin to a big bang, producing the primeval mound, Isle of Flame, from which life and order emerge. This act symbolizes solving the existential void by manifesting creation. Balance and completeness. The male-female pairs reflect dualities that harmonize opposing forces, solving imbalance in the cosmos. Their completeness, symbolized by the number 8, ensures stability in creation. Birth of Ra and Atum. The Ogdoad's actions directly led to the birth of Ra, Atum, who then creates further cosmic structures like the Ennead, solving subsequent layers of creation. In this way, the Ogdoad serves as a metaphysical solvers of chaos, laying the foundation for existence through their balanced interactions. Right? Now let's talk about primordial intelligence, because to solve a problem and come up with a solution, one have to have a form of intelligence, right? So primordial intelligence refers to the foundational inherent intelligence that exists in the beginning of life or creation, preceding acquired knowledge and conscious thought. It is often associated with the innate ability of living systems to organize, adapt, and evolve, as well as the archetypal forces that guide existence. So once again, it is often associated with the innate ability of living systems to organize, right? Order, adapt, and evolve, So basically to grow through order. Through order, you grow and evolve, right? So let's summarize now from what we learned, right? So now we got that the primordial mind, which created the primordial spirit by way of Om, which is the first expression of this primordial mind, right? Now, within this primordial mind, there existed primordial elements, antimatter and dark energy and dark matter, and the primordial elements was existing within this primordial mind. These elements were in a state of chaos and activity, or chaos, hiddenness, darkness, boundlessness, right? So that is the problem that need to be solved. You understand? The void, the conditions that it's in, right? You follow? Okay, so primordial intelligence come into play, whereas though symbolic of the Ogdoad, whereas though these chaotic elements have to be situated, okay? They have to be situated, okay? Thus, primary intelligence is born, as intelligence is often associated with the innate ability of living systems to organize. You understand? So complexes, complexity. So now the intelligence begins to form complex systems. Let's finish reading and we'll go more deeper into complexity. Key characteristics: innate and fundamental. It is intrinsic attribute of life, present in all organisms from the cellular level to complex beings. This intelligence enables survival, reproduction, and adaptation. Preconscious awareness. Primordial intelligence predates human cognition and cultural narratives. It exists as a universal blueprint or organizing principle for life. Connection to archetypes. In metaphysical traditions, primordial intelligence is linked to archetypes, universal symbols, or patterns that shape consciousness and reality. You understand that? Biological expression. On a cellular level, primordial intelligence governs processes like growth, differentiation, and cooperation among cells to maintain life. This concept bridges metaphysics, biology, and philosophy, emphasizing the deep-seated intelligence inherent in existence itself. Let's move on. Scientific and occult meaning of intelligence. The scientific meaning of intelligence is the ability to learn from experience, adapt to new environments, solve problems, and apply knowledge effectively. It involves cognitive processes like reasoning, memory, perception, and problem solving, often measured through IQ tests or frameworks like fluid versus crystallized intelligence, right? Biological basis. Intelligence is linked to brain function, particularly the prefrontal cortex, which governs complex cognitive tasks. Genetic and environmental factors also play significant roles in shaping intelligence. Types of intelligence. Psychologists recognize multiple intelligence, such as linguistic, logical, mathematical, spatial, and emotional intelligence, emphasizing its multidimensional nature, right? So let's move on. Occult and metaphysical meaning. Spiritual intelligence, or SQ. Spiritual intelligence refers to the ability to access higher meanings, values, and purposes beyond the ego. It integrates intellectual IQ and emotional intelligence, EQ, with presence and awareness of transcendent realities. SQ is associated with wisdom, compassion, creativity, and the ability to perceive unseen spiritual dimensions. Okay? Hidden truths in occult metaphysics. Intelligence symbolizes the capacity to uncover hidden truths about existence and reality. This involves critical, existential thinking and deriving meaning from life experiences. Okay, number 3, symbolism. Intelligence in occult traditions is often represented by archetypes, like the serpent, wisdom and hidden knowledge, or geometric patterns, such as the hexagram, balance between material and spiritual realms. Integration. Scientifically, intelligence is a measurable cognitive ability to adaptation and problem solving. Occultly, it transcends material definitions, emphasizing inner wisdom, spiritual growth, and alignment with universal truths. Together, these perspectives highlight intelligence as both a practical tool for navigating life and a gateway to deeper metaphysical understanding. You understand that? So let's move on. We're going to move on to complexity, because the primordial intelligence is literally the melanin, and the melanin is literally that intelligence which form into complex systems. So let's move on. Complex. The word complex originates from the Latin complexus, meaning surrounding, encompassing, or embracing. You see that word embracing, because in order to transmute the chaos, you have to embrace the chaos first, right? We cooking, so let's continue. Which is the past participle of complexity, to entwine, encircle, or embrace. This term combines the prefix "com" together with plesatir, to weave, braid, or twine. I might have butchered that, y'all, but just bear with me. Historical development. Latin roots. In Latin, complexes refer to something intertwined or interconnected, right? French influence. The word entered English via French complexity, which retained the meaning of complicated or intricate, right? English usage. As an adjective, it describes something composed of interconnected parts or intricate systems. As a noun, also in the 1650s, it referred to a whole made of interrelated elements. Later, in psychology, it was used by Carl Jung to describe a group of repressed ideas. You understand? The etymology reflects the idea of weaving or entwining, symbolizing the interconnected nature of complexity. Right? Right. So this brings us to cosmic complexes. Cosmic complexes refer to a large-scale structures or interconnected systems in the universe that arise from the interaction of matter, energy, and gravitational forces over cosmic time. These structures embody the intricate organization of the cosmos and reflects its evolution from primordial chaos to ordered complexity. Examples of cosmic complexes. 1. Galaxy filaments. So these are examples of cosmic complexes. Galaxy filaments. These are the largest known structures in the universe, consisting of walls of galactic superclusters that form the cosmic web. They define boundaries between vast voids and demonstrate how gravity shapes matter into complex formations. Galaxy clusters and mergers. Complex systems like the Bullet cluster reveal interactions between dark matter, baryonic matter, and gravitational forces, creating phenomena such as ghosts and bullet substructures. Right? So you see the terminology they're using, ghosts. But let's continue to 3. Cosmic evolution layers. Observation using tools like cosmic CT scans shows how gravitational influences reshape matter over billions of years, leading to less clumpy but more complex universal structures. Right? The metaphysical connection. Cosmic complexes can also be tied to metaphysical ideas like cosmic intelligence, which suggests a universal organizing principle shaping these structures. This reflects the interplay between primordial forces and their manifestation into highly organized systems across space and time. We cooking, let's go, y'all. Right? So the invisible is made visible by way of the primordial intelligence, by way of complexes, right? Cosmic complexes now is made visible. Galaxies form and clusters. So now we're going to step into the occult metaphysics of complexes, as in within you. What's happening within you is not separate from what's happening outside of the self. You understand that? You are nature. Right? So in occult psychology, a complex refers to a cluster of unconscious emotions. You understand that? So inside of you, this manifests as a cluster of unconscious emotions, thoughts, and memories that influence an individual's behavior and perception, often tied to archetypal or symbolic forces. These complexes are seen as psychological structures that can have profound metaphysical or esoteric implications, aligning with occult principles of hidden forces shaping reality. Key features of complexes in occult psychology. Unconscious influence. Complexes operate from the unconscious, often manifesting as emotional triggers or repetitive patterns. In occult terms, they can be likened to hidden energetic imprints or karmic influences that shape a person's spiritual and psychological journey. Archetypal roots. Jungian psychology, which heavily informs occult psychology, views complexes as rooted in archetypes, universal patterns, or symbols in the collective unconscious. For example, the shadow complex corresponds to repressed aspects of the self, a concept central to many esoteric traditions. Subpersonalities and disassociation. Complexes are sometimes described as splinter psyches. You understand that? Splinter psyches, or sub-personalities with semi-autonomous behavior. In occult frameworks, these could correspond to fragmented aspects of the soul or psyche that need integration for spiritual wholeness. You understand? So this is what mathematics is learning to the study of mathematics is really learning how to become whole again. Like a fraction means fracture, to be splintered or fragmented. We'll learn about that in a later episode, but let's continue. Energetic and symbolic nature. In the occult perspective, complexes are not just psychological, but also energetic phenomenon. You understand? So it's energetic phenomenon, such as, energy, spirits. They may be influenced by external forces, planetary alignments in astrology, or internal blockages in one's energy body, right? individuation, and integration. Resolving complexes is essential for achieving individuation, psychological wholeness, or spiritual enlightenment in both Jungian psychology and occult traditions. This process mirrors alchemical transformation, when lead, unresolved complexes, is turned into gold, spiritual integration. Right? So that is the alchemical process. Now let's continue. Occult implications, esoteric practices. Rituals, meditation, and shadow work are often used in occult psychology to confront and integrate complexes. Cosmic correspondence. Complexes are seen as microcosmic reflections of larger cosmic forces, aligning with the occult principle, as above, so below. So now we see that the law of correspondence come into play, the third cosmic law. Energetic cleansing. Techniques like energy healing or working with archetypes aim to dissolve negative complexes and restore balance. In summary, in occult psychology, complexes are viewed not only as psychological constructs, but also as manifestations of deeper metaphysical forces that influence both the psyche and spiritual evolution. Right? So let's continue. The concept of cosmic complexes correlates with the occult through their shared focus of interconnectedness and the manifestation of universal principles across different scales. In occult traditions, cosmic structures are often viewed as symbolic representations of metaphysical truths or energetic patterns that influence both the macrocosm and the microcosm. You understand that? So as above, so below. As within, so without. It's the same process. Key correlations, interconnected cosmic web. Scientific studies describe the cosmic web as a network of dark matter and galaxies shaping the universe's structure. In occult thought, this web mirrors esoteric ideas of universal interconnectedness, where celestial forces influence earthly events through energetic correspondences. Right? The law of correspondence. Astrology and cosmic energies. Occult practices like astrology interpret celestial alignments as energetic imprints that shape human consciousness and fate. Let me say that again. Occult practices like astrology interpret celestial alignments as energetic imprints that shape human consciousness and fate. Cosmic complexes such as galaxy clusters and filaments can be seen as manifestations of these universal energies, reinforcing the idea of as above, so below. Right? Ancient Egypt, a cornerstone of occult thought, often linked cosmic structures with the Ogdoad, with metaphysical principles governing creation and order. This reflects how cosmic complexes are interpreted not just scientifically, but symbolically, as expressions of divine intelligence. You understand that? So this reflects how cosmic complexes or the melanin are interpreted not just scientifically, but symbolically as expressions of divine intelligence. Cosmic intellect and occult philosophy. Occult philosophies like those in Vedanta describe a cosmic intellect, Buddha or Mahat, emerging from undifferentiated consciousness to organize matter and energy into structured forms. Cosmic complexes can be seen as physical manifestations of this organizing principle. You understand? So now the invisible becomes visible. You understand? Cosmic complexes bridge science and occult philosophy by embodying universal patterns that reflect metaphysical principles. They are interpreted in occult traditions as symbols of interconnectedness, divine intelligence, and energetic influences shaping both the universe and human existence. Right? So, complexes in psychology or the human psyche within you. A complex is a cluster of emotionally charged thoughts. You understand? Memories and feelings that influence behavior, often unconsciously. For example, a mother complex might cause someone to react strongly to maternal figures. Complexes are rooted in personal experiences and unresolved emotions, often tied to archetypes like Jung's shadow or persona.
You understand? So this is tied to the shadow self or the persona, the unconscious content of the primordial mind, right? Let's move on to projections. Projection is a defense mechanism where individuals attribute their own unconscious feelings, desires, or traits to others. For instance, someone who feels insecure might accuse others of being overly critical. Projections externalize inner conflicts, distorting reality and relationships. Once again, projection externalize inner conflicts, distorting reality. Right? And this ties into Project Bluebeam. That's a later video I'ma create. Similarities. Unconscious influence. Both arise from unconscious material affecting perceptions and interaction. You understand that? Distortion. Complexes in projection can warp reality by imposing internal issues onto external situations. Right? So they can warp reality by imposing internal issues onto external situations, right? The differences between projections and complexes, right? So the source of complexes is internal emotional clusters. The source of projections are externalized traits or feelings, right? So the source of complexes are internal emotional clusters, right? So from a primordial sense, these internal emotional clusters or internal energies that are in motion are the chaotic, are the chaotic energies and primordial elements that existed within the primordial mind. It already pre-existed. So now let's think about it in these terms. Just like a parent, right? When your child is acting chaotic and you have to tell them like, man, go sit your butt down, go sit down in the corner right there. You have to literally situate the situation, literally. And that's literally what's happening. So you have to situate these energies within you. The same thing that happened in the beginning is constantly happening over and over again. You understand? You're bringing structured order to unstructured chaos. So now let's move on. Focus. Complexes focuses on personal identity, while projections focus on relationships with others, right? The function of complexes drives behavior and reactions, right? So it drives your behavior and your reactions. That is the function of complexes. The projections, it defends against self-awareness. So the function of projections is to defend against self-awareness. It defends against self-awareness. So in essence, complexes fuel internal struggles, while projections externalize those struggles onto others. Both are interconnected aspects of the psyche's attempt to manage unconscious material, right? You understand? Now we gonna relate it. The relation of intelligence to complexes and the Ogdoad can be understood through scientific, psychological, and occult frameworks, emphasizing transformation, balance, and the emergence of order from chaos. Here's a detailed exploration. In scientific context, cosmic intelligence and metaphysics, intelligence is often tied to the idea of a universal field or consciousness, Akashic field, which governs the evolution of matter and life. The Ogdoad represents primordial forces that embodies this cosmic intelligence, forming the foundation for creation itself. The Ogdoad's role in maintaining balance, preventing the sky from collapsing back into chaos, mirrors how intelligence resolves tensions between opposing forces to sustain order, right? And tensions are just tense ions. They're ions that's tense. You understand? Now let's continue. Complexes in evolution. Complexes in psychology represent unresolved energies or patterns that influence behavior, right? So this is your unconscious content. The primordial mind.
which are unresolved energies or patterns that influence behavior, right? Similarly, the Ogdoad symbolizes chaotic forces that must be transformed into structured existence, akin to resolving psychological complexes through awareness and integration. Psychological perspective, intelligence as integration. Intelligence in psychology involves integrating fragmented aspects of the psyche, resolving complexes. This parallels the Ogdoad's role in harmonizing chaotic primordial elements to birth creation and maintain cosmic stability. Complexes like the Ogdoad's chaotic forces can be seen as archetypal energies that require resolution for personal growth. Shadow work. The Ogdoad's association with darkness, Kek and Kaket, aligns with Jungian shadow work, exploring unconscious aspects of the self. Intelligence is required to confront and integrate these shadow elements, leading to enlightenment, like what I said earlier, right? Intelligence is required to confront and integrate these shadow elements, leading to enlightenment, leading to light, right? Order. Life and the structural existence, right? Structural existence. 3. Occult and metaphysical meaning. Primordial intelligence. The Ogdoad embodies proto-intelligence, forces without form or personality that gain intention through naming and order. Once again, the Ogdoad embodies proto-intelligence, forces without form or personality that gain intention, right? Through naming and order. Through naming and order. This reflects how intelligence transforms formless chaos into structured overstanding. Their duality, frog-headed males and serpent-headed females, symbolizes the interplay of masculine and feminine energies and uncovering hidden truths. Complexes as cosmic forces. In occult metaphysics, unresolved complexes are seen as chaotic energies within the self. The Ogdoad's transformation into light mirrors how intelligence resolves these energies to achieve spiritual clarity. Lotus and cosmic egg. The Ogdoad's creation of the lotus or cosmic egg symbolizes intelligence as a vessel for transformation, a matrix where raw potential evolves into higher consciousness, right? So a matrix where raw potential evolves into higher consciousness, right? Now, you know they say we live in a matrix. Now, this will be the primary matrix, the original matrix code, which stems from the primordial intelligence, right? So the Ogdoad's creation of the lotus or cosmic egg symbolizes intelligence as a vessel for transformation. So as a vessel of transformation, a matrix where raw potential evolves into higher consciousness. 4. Emotional resonance. Balance between chaos and order. Emotionally, intelligence helps navigate internal conflicts or complexes, much like the Ogdoad balances chaos to sustain creation. This emotional resolution fosters growth and harmony. So emotionally, intelligence helps navigate internal conflicts or complexes, much like the Ogdoad balances chaos to sustain creation. This emotional resolution fosters growth and harmony. Conclusion. The Ogdoad represents primordial forces requiring resolution to create balance and order, a process analogous to intelligence resolving psychological complexes or uncovering hidden truths. In occult metaphysics, both highlight transformation as a pathway to higher understanding and cosmic harmony.